stop. But it appears too late for these protesters who claim to be in control of the east. As the violence continues, so do the evacuations. Tens of thousands heading out of the country. Also ahead, angry over the economy. The Irish begin voting soon, and it's not looking good for the ruling party.
2, 1.
The final frontier. Discovery makes its last ever trip to space. Muammar al-Gaddafi says Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden are responsible for the uprising against him. In a phone interview on state television, the Libyan leader addressed the people of AlJazeera just west of the capital. Well, that's where there's been heavy fighting between opposition forces and Gaddafi loyalists. There have also been more resignations by members of Gaddafi's government. Libya's ambassador to Jordan, the latest diplomat to quit in protest over the violence. And Gaddafi's opponents are strong in the east. They're increasingly reporting gains in the west too, though. Police and soldiers reportedly deserting Gaddafi's regime in the town of Zawara. Lawrence Lee has more.
According to Muammar Gaddafi, there's every chance these people are either members of Al-Qaeda or high on hallucinogenic drugs. Some of them are certainly in terrible pain. They're people from the town of AlJazeera who tried to fight Gaddafi's forces when they stormed the town. In his telephone address to AlJazeera on Libyan television, Gaddafi seemed to imply that they deserved it.
The demands come from bin Laden. You, AlJazeera people, are substituting the popular and Jamahiriya system with bin Laden. Bin Laden cells have been operating here for months. His operatives are provoking and brainwashing your children, inciting them to launch attacks. The enemy perpetrating the killings of our children, operating from mosques or elsewhere. Bin Laden and his operatives are providing your children with hallucination pills. Those are the true perpetrators. Arrest them and bring them to court.
Yet one person who spoke to AlJazeera from the town before Gaddafi's address said plainly that they were protesting peacefully in the main square. Their main demand, a constitution. He said the army came and butchered people.
We asked them to stop all their fires, but they didn't reply. The shooting was direct to the people. They shot the people in the head and in the chest. Direct so they were trying to kill the people, not terrifying them.
It's the kind of thing that some in the outside world are now pushing to have investigated as potentially crimes against humanity. And yet Libyan TV appears happy to keep producing pictures of either dead or half-dead protesters to try to put the fear into the opposition. If the west of Libya near Tripoli is the most volatile, then more and more footage emerges from Benghazi in the east to suggest Gaddafi's forces have lost half their country. The mood in Benghazi, at least according to these pictures, is triumphalist. Some of the captured mercenaries don't look anything like as fearsome when their guns are taken off them.
My people are dying in here because Muammar Gaddafi is killing us because we are dying, because we are fighting till we die.
One of the notable aspects of the Gaddafi phone call was his observation that he didn't much care anymore what was happening in his country. For a man who's assumed he was all-powerful for 4 decades, all of this must be bewildering.
As the Arab proverb says, if you carry a leaking water bag, it will make your back wet, and it is your responsibility. It is none of my concern anymore.
Why Gaddafi spoke by phone and not on camera is a topic of debate by itself, and wishful thinkers might hope his speech was a way of trying to say goodbye, or perhaps in arguing that he isn't really leader and therefore isn't really in charge, it was simply a denial of responsibility. Lawrence Lee, AlJazeera.
The UN Security Council will meet later on Friday to discuss possible sanctions against Gaddafi. UN diplomats say while nothing concrete has been proposed, travel bans, assets freezes, a weapons embargo and the imposition of a no-fly zone are all likely to be put on the table. Meanwhile, a group of UN workers evacuated from Tripoli has arrived in a military airport just outside Rome. The evacuees included Italians and other European Union citizens. They were flown back on 2 Italian military transport planes mobilized by the country's foreign ministry emergency unit. China has sent a Navy ship to protect its citizens who are being evacuated from Libya. Beijing says a missile frigate has been diverted from anti-piracy duties in the Gulf of Aden to protect ships carrying Chinese evacuees. And 2 planes sent by the Chinese government have touched down safely in Beijing. They were carrying more than 250 Chinese nationals. More than 30,000 Chinese workers are believed to be in Libya when the fighting broke out. Some 12,000 have since been evacuated. Relief in Athens airport, where Greek nationals have been safely airlifted home from Tripoli. Most described scenes of chaos in the Libyan capital. One evacuee said he witnessed what he called 4 cold-blooded executions in the street. Well, some of those fleeing Libya have also brought with them amateur footage of the violence. In this, said to be filmed on Monday in Benghazi, heavy gunfire can be heard as protesters take shelter on both sides of the street. The footage was given to the AP news agency by a Canadian worker. He said he was given the video to smuggle out of the country. Libya's ambassador to Jordan has resigned in protest over the killing of his countrymen. Mohammed al-Barghouti is the latest of several diplomats and politicians who've stepped down or voiced their opposition to the violent crackdown.
Our great people, at this difficult moment that our nation faces, people are dying in a bloody confrontation. It is unimaginable and unbelievable.
Well, among those diplomats who've pulled away from Gaddafi is Libya's deputy ambassador to the UN, Ibrahim Dabashi. In an interview with AlJazeera, he demanded the UN take a stronger position. Dabashi also called on the international community to impose a no-fly zone over Libyan cities.
We are very worried and we reject any foreign military intervention in Libya. That's why I came here today to put a call out there. After the events we saw in Zawiya today, I address my words directly to my dear 2 generals, Al-Mahdi al-Arabi and Muhammad al-Isawi, because their role are crucial at this stage. And I say to them that you have proved your courage to us in the past, and you are known for protecting the people from mercenaries and those who kill our people. Your honor and family and military pride does not allow you to go against the will of the people. Especially at this historical juncture, a choice has to be made between good and evil. Your brethren have fallen dead on the streets of Libya. Today, tens were killed in the town of Zawiya under your watch. How will you face God? There is now a kind of unacceptable intervention by the UN in an attempt to impose a no-fly zone over the Libyan cities. We are confident in the power of our people, and this is the reason why I have urged the 2 generals to act. We have enough willpower, enough courage and people and resources to fight against this oppressive regime. But we want protection from the air because Gaddafi has mercenaries from Serbia and Ukraine, and they are using them against the people in Libya. Abdurrahman Shalqam is still the representative of Libya at the UN, and I also continue to hold my position alongside my colleagues. But our first demand is the imposition of a no-fly zone over Libya. That's our key demand.